Where's the recording going to be at? I think with U of H, you'll see, Brittany will drop that there because you will see a recording of this there as well, okay? Plus, I will, where you are getting the handouts right now, just so that you know, when I go to the bottom slides here that I will just race through, they're really there for additional support for you. I'm actually providing a video at that link, so I would encourage you to visit that link after Friday. Go back in there and visit the link where you got the handout and slides, because I'll have a video on each of those. How to find your bounce rate, how to find your engagement rate, how to find your behavior flow, how to set up things so that you are seeing what the conversions are and the abandoned carts and abandoned checkouts. I will go through each of those in an individual video that will only be linked there. I don't have that on my YouTube site yet. Okay, so this will help you with Google Analytics and also with Google Ads, help support you. And when you link the two together, when you are in the administrative side of Google Analytics 4, you're going to go down here to this very bottom gear icon. When you're in the gear icon, click there, and you will see that you can put Google Ad links there, connect the two together. So now Google Ads can learn from Google Analytics, okay? Oh, just so you know, this URL here, or this QR code, is for the University of Houston, Texas SBDC. This is for them to let them know whether or not this was helpful to you. So please take a snap of that, because any feedback you can give to them helps them know whether or not you need me to go in depth more, you need me to come back, whether this was helpful to you. Do you like the fact that I do keep it interactive and I do answer your questions, or do you want me to stay completely silent to the end, other than just presentation mode, and answer questions at the end? This helps with all of that, okay? And yes, Angela, to answer your question, you may receive many calls that are from Google. It probably is not Google. In fact, I know it's not Google unless you started the call. Okay, you needed to start the call. They're always, their contact is by email first, and then you have to say, yes, I want to set a time. Okay. All right, so where do you go from here? Well, you can actually set up your Google Analytics and set goals and test those marketing strategies. This really does help you become better and an expert at your customer, as well as measure results, and helps you set new goals and take new actions. So this is really important for you to keep in mind, that what is it that you're going to do to apply what you learned today? Now, this is what I'm showing you that I'm not going to actually cover in presentation form, but I will cover in a recorded video in the link that was just dropped there. In fact, let me drop it again. Do I have it here? Easy. There you go. If you want a, oh, let's see. I think it's just going out to host and panelists. So you might need to drop it again, Brittany, there, because they may not be able to, oh no, there you go. Perfect. Thank you. You're so fast on that. And if you want, because I've got recorded videos on how you can find this, but if you just want to use this PDF, you'll have that already available when you go to this link. And that's how to find the bounce rate, because there really are some steps to find that. If you want to measure that, okay, so that's how you can do that and customize and look at those different reports and the metrics. So it's easy for you, especially if you're talking to a customer, client, or a boss that needs to see whether or not what you're doing, your efforts are worth it. You're able to save this custom report and then also select the location of the report. There's also a way to see how traffic is acquired. It's much different than before. If you remember, within Universal Analytics, those of you who have experience with Universal Analytics, it was where you looked at the source and the medium. Well, you don't see that easily anymore within Google Analytics 4 like you did in Universal Analytics. So this actually walks you through how to find that and how to get that traffic acquisition report, to set the dimensions and settings to actually see. And now you'll know, is it Facebook that's working, or is it just your Facebook group, and maybe it's your Instagram stories as well as your LinkedIn posts that are really bringing people to your site? You will have definitive information, and that will help you, especially if you're doing lots of social media. This is something that can help really bring some context and importance and weight to what you're doing, because now it's driving, and you can see the success actions on your site. It's driving traffic and success actions. And then, of course, how to see conversions. Again, each of these, while they're a part of the PDF that you will download there, that's the slides. I'm not going into any detail of these now, because these each of themselves are about a 15-minute session, 15 to 20-minute session. Each of those will be there, as well as the videos to go with them after Friday. So I just wanted to let you know that they will be there. Okay. Now, if I have been helpful to you, I would love to know if I've been helpful. You can go to reviewmaria.com, so feel free to go there, or you can use this QR code. Again, you don't have to, but I always like to know if things are working, if this is the kind of pace that you like. We took a very, very difficult topic, which is Google Analytics 4 and making decisions for analytics, and I gave you the starting ground. So if you look at the slides before this, this is the starting ground of where you can get more really in depth in understanding and setting up that system. Remember, system, save yourself significant time, energy, and money. And I think there was a question here, Trisha, you were asking a question about visibility. This will help you. This is a free resource. Remember, everything in Bitly is case sensitive. So you do have to keep it lowercase, but you can go in here to get the 5-day visibility plan. It's free. It walks you step by step how to do that, Trisha, if you want to do this, and it'll get you in the habit now of showing up higher and more often in Google search and maps. And this is how you can find me. Remember, again, it's case sensitive, but you can go to klibrand.com, which is our agency. You can also find me on Twitter, or you can find me on Instagram. And I do answer a lot of questions in our free community, but I want you to remember that you are invited here by the University of Houston, SBDC. So it's the Texas Gulf Network Power Center, and you want to reach out to them because they really have the support and help for you that you need right there locally. Plus, they know all the local resources, and that's what I'm about, is these local resources, because they are the ones who can help you right there, step you through, and they will be able to also, here with the counselors, let you know exactly what you need and give you recommendations, and even kind of give you some of the pros and cons of working with some of the different people locally, depending on your personality style. For initial setup for business, Trisha, I would say for initial setup for business, I highly recommend get your business found on Google search and maps, because that will get you started in being visible and setting up your business so people know, especially as a realtor, it's vital, or real estate agent, it's vital that you know that. People need to know that you're there locally and what you provide. Is it property management? Do you do commercial property? Is it residential? What do you focus on, and what's your expertise? That's the best place to get started, okay? And then there's a whole bunch of Google tools after that. And, we can go into that in other sessions. If that's what works for you, just let the Texas Gulf Network know that that's what you want to hear more of. But other sessions, for example, are understanding Google Search Console, because that's how you actually upload things and let Google know that you exist. There is Google Merchant Center if you have products and you're involved in e-commerce, or even selling products at a physical location. Let's say you even have a window at somebody else's shop where you're selling your actual products. So Google Merchant Center helps you there. You've got YouTube, which is a Google tool, and it's the #2 search engine in the world, and still beats out TikTok. TikTok gets 1 billion views a day, and YouTube gets 15 billion a day. So it's still the big dog. And it's important for us to understand as small businesses, because we need to meet people where they're at. There is a saying, which is fish where the fish are. It takes tremendous amount of time, energy, and money for us to get people to look over here when they're over here. You just need to have kind of Coca-Cola type funds, advertising funds, to get them to pay attention over here compared to meeting them where they're at. So this really does help you in understanding where they're at. There's also, as I said, Google, Google Business Profile that you have, and all of the insights there, plus what you can freely use within Google Ads as well. Okay. All right, everybody, we've covered quite a bit. Let me go back to the slides. I want to answer your questions, though. So what questions do you have? Because I see Q&A there, and I might have gone a little fast through some of it, but I wanted to be respectful of your time and give us enough time for Q&A. So please let me know what your questions and answers are, or questions are, and I can provide answers. Click on that, actually. I see 3 Q&A. All right, I do see, can we get the slides later by email? I'm not sure if they're going to be sent by email, but they're already available there within the site to download that. So you are welcome to download that immediately. You will, just so that you know, I'm not sure who this is because it says anonymous attendee, just so that you know, it will be where you have to click on module, and then you're going to go ahead and set up a password. And then just remember what your password is. because you'll need that password to log back in all the time. All right, so hopefully that answers your question. Put answered live here, but if it doesn't, feel free to find that chat box and ask me again. Okay, hoping to find some input, but really think that I need to have an expert assist me. I've already reached out to my Google partner and he's not been able to help with GA4. You know, Kim, GA4 is a big, big monster for a lot of people because it's so different. It really is different from Universal Analytics. I've spent a tremendous amount of time in Google Analytics for just because I do. I'm actually actively managing a little over 50 different e-commerce stores, so I know it backwards and forwards. But if people don't know it backwards and forwards, it can be overwhelming. Let me see if I can get, this up here for you to see. Because I do want you to see, because if you can work with somebody who even knows how to lay it out for you, remember what I said about using that search bar. That search bar is really important because it will help you get to the reports that you need, and then you can instantly just save those reports and go back to them. So you're not distracted by everything need to know. But let me see if I can show you what this looks like. Hold on, it's just a little bit slow on internet load. I don't control that, everybody. But let me see if I can go to a desktop view. It's going to look a little bit wonky first, but it's coming back, I promise. There we go. And let's go to desktop. you may have that I didn't answer yet that will help you in applying what you're learning. So that's what I'm going to ask you to do, and that's your challenge, is how can you apply what you've learned? Knowledge is not powerful at all until it is applied. So what is it that you're going to apply? That's your challenge. I would love to connect with you on socials just to give you a chance to let me know what you actually applied and to celebrate you along the way too. Okay? So, all right, I'm going to throw this back. Want to say thank you to the Texas Gulf Coast Network of the SBDC. Thank you, Brittany. And I will hand it over to you. Sure. Absolutely. If you're talking about marketing personas, you can have as many as you like, but you need to know which ones are the most profitable because I find a lot of people have lots of ideas of different personas and they've got the top level, but they don't dig in deeper to see, okay, are they actually coming to my site? Is the content I'm already creating resonating with them? How is that converting already? Now, if you're a brand new site, let's say you're brand new in business, then look at a competitor. Look at their information. I believe in competitive research all the time. So I even read competitor reviews to find wording and content to match what matters most to people and what's looking. I look for or working. I also look to see what the sweet spots are that the competitor may not be working on, but I truly take a deeper dive in understanding who their best customer is. And you can do that with Google Trends. That's a free tool. You can find it at g.co/trends, Trends. So there's an S at the end, Google Trends. Go there and you can put in a competitor's name and you can even, put as far as today, or if you want to look the last month, the last 4 hours, the last quarter, last year, how people found them, what words they used. And now you'll have a better understanding to start taking a look and understanding who their customers are and how that could apply to your business too. But yes, it is truly about the personas that get you the most pleasure and profit because we can all serve anybody, everybody, and somebody. But that is so wide. None of us have that kind of funds, and cash flow is so important that we need to focus on the personas that bring us the most profit. That is correct. G.co/trends. I see that. Thank you. Thank you for doing that, Brittany. Um, I have people that I know that help fix websites. So I have a good resource of people that actually do that. I am more on the Looker Studio side, so we put Looker dashboards together for people. So your site usually has to work. We'll let you know what's broken on your site, what needs to be fixed. So I would lean heavy into the U of H Texas Gulf Coast Network because I'm sure they have amazing web developers that can help you. Let me just be clear though, because a lot of small businesses trip this up at the very beginning. There is a big difference between a web designer and a web developer. Okay, so if you need to fix anything aesthetically on your site, the beauty of it, the layout, maybe the information architecture, which means how you subcategorize everything on your site. So if they're looking for jewelry, you don't just have jewelry up there, you have rings and you have necklaces and you have bracelets. So you separate it out, making it easier for the user to find the information that they're looking for. That is known as information architecture, and a web designer is wonderful at doing that. But what a web developer is they take the design and all the aesthetics of the design and the user flow and function, and they apply that. They put the code in. So they're usually coders. They'll, everything from Python to Java to Shopify Liquid code, which is a definitely different code than any other site. But sometimes a web developer and web designer are one and the same people, but I find that very rarely. To have a good web designer is much different than a web developer skills. So a lot of times they're two separate people working in tandem together. So I just wanted to give you that insight as you want to fix your website, that you may need a web designer or web developer or both. If you can find one in the same, then props to you because those are not easy to find. Sure. Well, I'm sure that Texas, again, I'm all about local business. So I would reach out to the network. We actually do that, but I would reach out to the network, okay? Because they really are right there for you and they can give you feedback on local. Because sometimes, especially local, you might want to meet with somebody and you never know, they might be a potential connection for you, right? Somebody who could refer business to you as well. So I would look there locally. Again, if push comes to shove, we are available for that. You can always message me, but I would encourage you to work with the Texas Gulf Coast Network. Try to say that too fast of the SBDC because they've got counselors there who really are very experienced. Sure. Perfect. It it does. It's true that that's in a master account, but you can share that. So let me. Um, so there is in Google Analytics. Let me see if I've got my Google Analytics up here because I had it. There is different views that you can set up, and they can go back in and provide you a view. Let me see. I've lost that. If I can show it to you here, I will, because it's well, analytics. It's called a master. Well, they've got a master view, right? But you can also, there we go. Let me get it signed into analytics so you can see what that looks like on this end, and I'll showcase the desktop in a moment. I'm just going to bring this up and navigate to what you need to see so I don't confuse you. But let me go to the demo account I have, and I'm going to go to admin. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead. Just a second, I'll share my screen. And Sure. Yes. It varies from business to business and ad to ad. So yes, they are effective because I see people who are really great at their TikTok ads and Instagram ads, even with the 50 Shopify stores or e-commerce stores that I work with. And oh my gosh, Google still brings 60% of the conversions to them. So while there's good visibility there for middle of funnel, bottom of funnel decisions are made on Google. And where you see the difference is, yes, you could routinely skip it, but if you're somebody that's, let's say you're looking for a dentist who is painless to help straighten your child's teeth, and you see somebody there who's showing up with 5 stars and it says this one's the best of the best, and if you want the most pain-free experience for your child, you're still going to look and stop and look at that ad. Even if you don't see it, if you see it and you skip it, more than likely, if it's using the words, the ads are using the words that people are searching with, it'll also show up within the top 10 organic searches underneath those first ads. You can add an account from Wix. I actually am working with somebody with a Wix site, and you'll see analytics there, but it'll also ask if you can tag and add your analytics. So you will get an analytics code there, and you will just connect those, put the analytics code within Wix, and it's really seamless. It's very nice how the two connect together. Squarespace does the same thing. WordPress, Shopify, all of those actually just use a code and they connect the two. They'll even walk you through it. So it's very intuitive. Yes, Ava, if you need to go, no worries. I understand. We're just going to go through I want to make sure I answer everybody's questions. So if you need to go, please. Perfect. Weebly is I think everything except for Etsy. Etsy is not. And I know a lot of people sell things on the Etsy marketplace, but it's very self-contained. So you cannot use Google Analytics with Etsy. I would have to check on eBay. I was actually asking that question earlier and I didn't get um, a solid answer yet. So as soon as I have a solid answer, I'll definitely share that. To start advertising on Google Ads, go slow. Go slow because it can become very expensive. So you will, when you jump into Google Ads, you will be immediately hit with add your payment amount or payment source, add your payment source. You can just skip through all of that. Don't worry about that. Start becoming familiar with Google Ads without putting any payment source. Play around in there, set some ads up, follow the guidelines because it'll walk you through. It even has a link on some of the best ads and the way to lay out your ads. It will let you know that the first title needs to be 90 characters. So a space, an alphabetical mark, all of that, a grammatical mark are all considered characters. So it'll give you the opportunity to really hone in the words that your customers use and that they're looking for, which still gets your point across and it's on brand. So you really have to drill that down to a smaller amount of sentences or words because you really only have 1 or 2 sentences. And then after that, now you can go into Keyword Planner, which you can find if you use the little, there's a looks like a wrench icon at the very top or to the side. If you click on the wrench or the side, you can go to Keyword Planner, put your website address in, and it'll let you know what keywords you already do well for organically, but what keywords would be good for you and the cost of those per click. Because the way Google Ads works is you only pay when someone clicks. So you need to know if something is $15 per click compared to 3 cents per click. A big difference on how you're going to decide whether or not this ad will work for you. Look at all of that first, and then when you get started, you can get started for as low as $5 a day. You will set a budget for $5 a day. So over the course of 30 days, that's what, 150 bucks. Go ahead and set that up and now start measuring it and start adjusting and putting more ad spend, so more dollars and budget towards those that are actually performing. That does mean you need to go measure it. When you're using Google Ads, do not set it and forget it. That's really expensive until you figured out exactly what's working. And even then, I still go back and manually check, even though I may be using a lot of the different AI campaigns within Google Ads. I still go back and look just because I want to make sure that it's learning the right things and there's no bad habits that have happened along the way that could become expensive. Sure. Ah, so what you want to do is you want to do a smart campaign. So a smart campaign is really AI walking you through. It steps through what's the area that you serve. Again, even keep this in mind that it costs a lot of money to reach the entire United States. So if you get better customers at 79707, 79762, or if those are more your focus areas, focus on those areas instead of trying to hit the entire United States. Two things happen when you do that. It gives you some traction and some cash flow to really be visible. It also lets Google Ads know what people like and what they don't like. It also gives Google Analytics a chance to catch up and learn more about who is that best customer for you. So that's where I would start first. Be very focused, use the smart campaign, and then do a call campaign in that. So when you do smart campaigns, the first thing, third panel, really it is the third panel, the question will be, what do you want? Get more people to fill out leads on your or lead form on your site? Do you want them to come into your place of business? Do you want more phone calls? You will select get more phone calls. Do understand that when it's get more phone calls, Google actually creates a phone number for you. So the phone number you have is different from the phone number you'll see in the Google ads. That's so it can track. It'll track what is actually coming from what ad, what's working, which wording's working. It'll let you know the phone number so you can let Google know, is that within your area or is that somebody calling not in your area or not about what you really want to be found for. You can also see how many minutes that call was. The only caution I would say is because you're using Google Ads for calls, make sure that when somebody does reach you, let them know your direct phone number. Because if they keep using the Google ad to call, it will ding you a cost every single time. It's not cost per click in that instance, it's cost per call. And it also lets people know when they've called you that they feel that they have an insider reach to you, because you'll say, hey, if I really want to talk to you some more or follow up with you, here's my direct line so you can reach me specifically. And that really makes them feel special as well. Plus, it keeps the cost off of Google Ads and really helps focus on new people coming to your business. You're welcome. That's awesome. Well, Brittany, thank you so much. I mean, you have been wonderful. Again, thank you so much for your patience and your grace as we got started with everything that was kind of wonky on the technical side. And thank you to each of you for being patient, because I'm the one who made us late. So it wasn't Brittany. She was ready to go. I just couldn't get a slide to come up, but I hope it's been helpful to you. And yes, Trisha, to answer your question about lead form, I did see that. It really depends on who your customer is. Do they talk to you? Because I will tell you, if your customer is Gen Z, they do not want to talk to you. They want to contact you by text or by email. A lot of millennials too. Then there are some who do want to call you. If you are in let's say where they need immediate help, like usually plumber or heating and air conditioning, I tell them always to use call, because nobody wants to use a form. They want to know that somebody's going to help their water flow or them to be cool right now. Yes. Thank you. I can.